My parents sold my future for my brother's fairy tale wedding. Now, I'm the villain for wanting it back. 1 year ago, I sat in the back row of a cathedral draped in gold and roses, watching my brother, Ethan, marry his high school sweetheart, Lila, in a wedding that could have bankrolled a small country. The chandeliers sparkled, the string quartet played Vivaldi, and my parents beamed like they'd won the lottery. Meanwhile, I clutched a glass of cheap champagne, my stomach churning, knowing the $200,000 inheritance from Grandma, meant for my college fund and first home, was gone, poured into this extravagant circus. I'm Claire, 24, the responsible sibling who never asked for much. Growing up, I was the one who studied late, worked summers, and saved every penny. Ethan, he was the golden boy, charming, reckless, and always bailed out. When Grandma died 2 years ago, she left us equal shares of her estate, $200,000 each, to be held in trust until we turned 25. It was her way of giving us a start in life. I planned to use mine for grad school and a down payment on a house. Ethan, apparently, had other plans, or rather, my parents did. I found out 3 months before the wedding, during a tense family dinner. Mom, her voice sugary sweet, said, "Claire, we're so proud of Ethan and Lila. We're helping with their wedding. It's, a big event." Dad avoided my eyes, stirring his coffee like it held the secrets to the universe. I pressed them, sensing something off. "Finally," Dad admitted. "We used some of the trust money. Ethan's share wasn't enough for the venue they wanted." My fork clattered to the plate. "Some?" I asked. Mom's smile faltered. "Well, all of it. Both shares." I felt the room spin. My inheritance, my future, was gone, funneled into a wedding I wasn't even invited to plan. They promised to pay me back, but their savings were tapped out, and their business was barely breaking even. I was furious, but I held it together, thinking I could reason with them. I waited until after the wedding, hoping they'd come clean or make it right. They didn't. Instead, they gushed about how perfect Ethan's day was, how it was worth every penny. My anger simmered, but I gave them time, 6 months, then 9. Nothing changed. So, I did the unthinkable. I hired a lawyer. The letter arrived at their doorstep a month ago, a formal demand for repayment or I'd sue. Mom called me, sobbing, saying I was tearing the family apart. Dad left a voicemail, his voice cold. "How could you do this to us, Claire? After everything we've done for you?" Ethan texted, "You're just jealous. Get over it." I wasn't jealous, I was betrayed. The money wasn't just numbers in a bank account. It was Grandma's love, her belief in me, and they'd stolen it. The lawyer, Missy Harper, a sharp woman with a no-nonsense bob, laid out my options. The trust documents were clear. My share was mine alone, and my parents, as trustees, had no right to touch it without my consent. We could sue for breach of fiduciary duty, and we'd likely win, but the cost, legal fees, family ties severed forever, hung over me like a storm cloud. I spent nights staring at the ceiling, torn between justice and the family I still loved. Despite everything, flash back to the wedding day. I wore a simple blue dress, feeling like an outsider in my own family. Guests whispered about the perfect couple, unaware of the price I'd paid for their fairy tale. Ethan, in his tailored tux, winked at me during his speech, saying, "Thanks to my family for making this possible." I nearly choked. Mom caught my eye and her smile faltering for a split second, but she turned away, clapping as Ethan kissed Lila. I left early, unable to stomach the hypocrisy. Back in the present, I met Ethan at a coffee shop, hoping to avoid court. He strolled in, all charm and arrogance, wearing a watch that probably cost my monthly rent. "Claire, you're blowing this out of proportion," he said, leaning back. "It's just money. You'll make it back." I gripped my coffee mug, resisting the urge to throw it. "It wasn't yours to spend," I said. He shrugged. "Mom and Dad made the call." Take it up with them. I realized then Ethan didn't care. He never had. The family group chat exploded after the lawyer's letter. Mom sent paragraphs about how I was ungrateful and selfish. Dad posted a photo of Ethan and Lila's wedding album, captioned, "This is what family does for each other." My cousins chimed in, some calling me heartless, others saying I was right but should let it go for peace. I felt like I was screaming into a void. The only one who understood was Aunt June, Grandma's sister, who called me late one night. "Your grandma would be furious," or she said. "That money was for you, not Ethan's ego. Fight for it." Ms. Harper filed the lawsuit last week. The papers accused my parents of misappropriating trust funds, with a claim for $200,000 plus interest. I didn't want it to come to this, but every time I wavered, I remembered Grandma's voice, telling me to stand up for myself. She'd raised me to be strong, not a doormat. Still, the guilt gnawed at me. Was I the monster for dragging my family to court, or were they the ones who'd broken us by choosing Ethan over me? The first court date is in a month. I've barely slept, imagining Mom's tears on the stand, Dad's stern face, Ethan's smug grin. Friends tell me to settle, to forgive, but forgiveness feels like surrender when no one's apologized. I keep picturing Grandma's face, her warm smile as she handed me her old recipe book, saying, "This and the money is for your future, Claire." That future was stolen, and I'm fighting to take it back. The community's divided. Some neighbors call me brave. Others say I'm greedy. Online, people debate. Is it right to sue your own family? Is money worth more than blood? I don't know anymore. I just know I'm tired of being the one who sacrifices while Ethan gets the spotlight. Maybe court will give me justice, or maybe it'll just leave me with a broken family and a bank account. Either way, I'm done being invisible. What do you think? Is Claire right to sue her family for her stolen inheritance? Or should she let it go for the sake of family ties? Share your thoughts on justice, betrayal, and what you'd do in her shoes.